Let me just thank everybody, my friends. Richard, I see my buddy Rich Trumka, and Congresswoman, good to see you. And of course, Ernie, it's always good to be with you. Um, First of all, I signed on to the ProAct because I believe that we can come to an agreement. We can work this. And that, I think that where I come from, we're used to good paying jobs that worked in the mine, benefits, retirements. You could live a quality of life with the skill sets you had and the hard work you were willing to provide. That's left us. And the thing that Kathy, I would say on some of the as we transition into new energy markets, if you will, we produce very little. We depend on foreign products being made overseas. All we do is assemble a lot of the, whether it be the windmills or solar panels, which is a bunch of crap as far as I'm concerned. And we need to start building things. You give us a chance, give a coal miner a chance, we'll build you the best damn windmill you've ever seen, or the best solar panel. But that's not the way the market's going. That's not the way the EV market. We do no batteries, okay? We're depending on the rest of the world, and here we sit on an unbelievable amount of energy, and we're losing the good jobs and basically the ancillary jobs that go with them. So we better watch what we're doing here, and I think that hopefully I can bring a little bit of an insight to the traditional jobs that we're about to lose for the transitional jobs that I'm not sure are going to be there. So that's why this ProAct is important. It sure is. And is the market going to be able to sustain that? We're going to find out. We're going to find out really quick before we go down this path, because it could be a path to disaster if we don't do it and do it right. If we don't have the ability to have the wage earners that are willing to give what they have given in the past in the energy field. So there's so much that's going on right now. How do we transition? I think the energy bill that we have, or the infrastructure bill, is probably going to be broken up in probably 3 bills, maybe 2 to 3, could be as many as 4. But we've got to get something we can start doing in bipartisan. We haven't voted on a thing bipartisan in the Senate. The Senate's designed much different, Kathy, than the House, as you know. And if not, we'll have vicious swings if we can't get back into some element of working it. So anything I've said, give us a bill. Let's put the bill in the committee, in the jurisdictional committee. Ernie, you've been here long enough and watching things when maybe they did work at one time, but they haven't worked for a long time. And the only thing I have said is, I remember Bob Byrd, and I know that Richard knew Bob Byrd very well too. Bob Byrd would keep you here on Friday night, Saturday, until you got wore out.
Yep.
He'd wear you out. Vote until your heart's desire, and then by God, let's move forward. And we don't do that anymore. We get here Monday at 5:30, and the jet fuel's burning by 2 o'clock on Thursday. They're out of here. So hell yeah, you better take the path of least resistance, because nobody wants to fight for what needs to be done. So put the bill, anything I've said, put it in the committee, let it go through the committee as far as the hearing, have the markup, and have the committee staff write the bill, put it on the floor, and have an open amendment process that basically is going to be germane to the subject matter. And by the time that's done, people have we're going to get something. We're going to get something. And we have a chance to really bring some points to the market. But right now, all the people that are hammering over clean green, well, that's wonderful. Guess what? The rest of the world needs technology. And that comes from innovation for us to clean it up. And I think, Ernie, we've talked about this. Carbon capture sequestration is a thing that'll do more to help the global climate and environment in the world than probably anything else we could do.
I would just add to the CCS, although there's overlap, the issue of carbon dioxide removal as well from the atmosphere as an important direction. Yeah.
Well, we're talking about what the clear, what they call clean air.
Well, we had a report called Clearing the Air.
That's it.
That's right.
Okay.
It's like
you've had a lot of good reports already. Sometimes I get confused because you have so many good ones. Right. Anyway, hey gang, we're all in this together. And I got to think that there's enough Republicans truly that understand that we're up against it. They've got people in their own areas are having the same, okay?
Higher.
And then, and Rich, you know, we've lost a lot of Democrats who started voting Republican because they thought we left them. We got to show them that we're back.
Rich, do you want to follow up?
Sure. You know, Senator Manchin, you and I think we've known each other since you lost one of your loved ones in the 69.
Uncle John, 1968, buddy.
Yeah, and I think that's when we first met, and we've been walking together since there. You and I both come from the coal fields. We know those are good paying jobs, and we know that they sure matter to the entire community. If those jobs are going to be replaced by clean energy jobs, how do we make sure that, it's a two-part question. One, before those jobs are lost, we invest in our coal field communities. How do we do that, Joe?
Well, here's the thing. I simply went back way back in 2009. I was talking to President Obama. I said, a lot of credits were going towards wind and solar. And I said, sir, if you're going to go wind and solar and you have that prerogative and everything, you still have to have baseload fuel 24/7. That's where we come in. And we've cleaned up the environment more than the last 2 decades than ever before. And now if we can just get CO2, we'd be in great shape. But anyway, I said, if people are going to take advantage of these credits, make them use the credits in the areas where basically the jobs have been lost, the traditional jobs. So only thing now is I've been on Zooms all day on energy. First of all, I understand that there's not a United States company that can compete for offshore wind. It's all overseas. They just can't compete because they don't have the ability to compete. And then next of all, the solar panels and most of all the GE makes the turbines for the wind, but all the components and everything are going overseas, Brazil, different places around the world. We do very little of any of this. And all of a sudden here, and I've said this, you take one coal job, and I guarantee you'll find a battery factory somewhere, you'll find a cable company, you'll find machine shops, you're going to find 7 or 8 people that are supplying that one. So guys, I don't think the supply chain and labor supply chain is going to be anywhere close to what we've had. So what type of investments are you making then? What type of investments is the federal government or the taxpayers willing to do? You sure as hell can't leave us behind, Rich. And they asked me politically, and we're speaking politically now. They said, hey, Joe, what happened to West Virginia? I says, nothing. What happened to the country? We feel like the returning Vietnam veteran. We've done every dirty job you want us to do, took our orders, never complained, did the heavy lifting, and now we're not good enough, we're not clean enough, we're not green enough, and we're not smart enough. So the hell with you. I'll vote for somebody else. That's how we lost West Virginia. They don't want to hear it, but that's what happened.
Joe, the second part of that question, as clean energy industries grow, how do we make sure they're good family supporting jobs? And by the way, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. We're so grateful you're signing on as a co-sponsor to the ProAct. And I know you're going to do what's necessary to bring our colleagues along. How do we make sure that those new jobs are good paying family supporting jobs like the ones we had?
We fight for prevailing wage, and also we fight for the right. I mean, Rich, I didn't realize this. Do you know that over 50% of the companies that tried to unionize and had a positive union vote didn't make it?
Yeah,
because
they weren't allowed a contract. Even after
they couldn't get a contract and organize.
Yeah.
Now
after they
something's
go through
wrong,
all
man.
the hoops and all the threats and all the meetings, they still don't get a contract because the company just says
Now,
no.
you tell me that I can't find 10 Republicans to say that's fair. That's the way business. I see. I just want to work it. I think I can bring out the human element in these types of, because you know why? I can find an uncle or grandfather they had that went through this. I can find someone in their lineage that understands what we're trying to do, Rich. That's why I jumped on the bill. I said, I want to work this. If I get in there, I can work it. I couldn't work it from the outside. I can work it from the inside. And that was the purpose of it. And if they have some better way to do it, but like you said, they have to pay prevailing wage. They have to pay prevailing wages. We can't allow that. And maybe that's why they're overseas. But here we are, we're camouflaging it like everything's hunky-dory. Let them go ahead. What gets me is we're going to a complete, Ernie, they're going to a complete EV. This bill, the infrastructure bill, is all around EVs. Okay? Well, who's going to tell the families who are being enslaved in Angola Keep digging, gang. Get grandma and grandpa out there. Let them keep digging for us. Okay. There's no responsible sourcing. And then China could care less. And here we are, our transportation fleet is going to be changed to EV, and we have no control over the source. None. Why don't we go to green hydrogen? Why don't we do things that we have control over?